Hello and welcome to Precontation Points Video Snark. I read bad books so that you don't have to. I'm continuing my review of Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. Not the first video, go check out the others, links are posted below. Chapter 37. James is oddly enthusiastic to leave, more about actually being allowed to go with Adam this time instead of being left behind at his safe house. Adam tells Kenji how he has a tank, but that is a little too conspicuous to just casually drive around during the day. They hear something outside, so they hurry to leave the makeshift apartment. As they're running down the stairs, kaboom! But there's hardly any time to pause as gunfire starts up nearby. Kenji falls back, his injury getting the best of him. He tells them to leave without him, but Adam says that they need him to tell them where to go. And they didn't get directions for those just-in-case situations because... As they get away from the building, Juliet realizes that this isn't some settlement, that is just leftovers from life before, and for some reason the elderly and the orphans have turned it into their home, but that doesn't mean that the soldiers are supposed to be there. Adam decides that he has to leave James and Kenji behind. With sterner warnings to watch after his brother, Adam takes Juliet and they go to get an actual car. Chapter 38. Adam and Juliet run through the panicking people who are just trying to get away from the hell that the soldiers brought. As they're going, Juliet thinks about how Warner won't kill her, but she's worried about Adam, about them just shooting above Juliet and killing Adam. This goes on for a while without any actual plot movement. Some of the soldiers finally call out to Adam, say that Warner only wants Juliet, that if Adam hands her over, that they'll tell Warner that they lost Adam in the crowd. Juliet feels sick because Adam used to eat and live next to these men, and now they're trying to hunt him down like he's some kind of an animal. Adam's only response is to shoot one of the soldiers and to run further into the building that he and Juliet were in. The remaining soldiers give chase, although they don't dare to shoot because they might hit Juliet since they're inside. Adam shoots a couple more, although he tells Juliet that he's only aiming to disable them, not to kill. They go outside where they conveniently see 3 cars. Chapter 39. Adam gets shot and goes down. As Juliet tries to go to him, somebody grabs her and drags her away. Somebody with bare hands. Warner managed to catch up with them. And what's worse is that he must have also figured out that he'd touched Juliet's bare leg. He probably had more awareness of touching her rather than Juliet, who just felt something brush against her leg. Warner takes Juliet back inside, where he tells her that Adam is dead. He then goes on this completely mental rant about how he and Juliet can be together, but Juliet is quick to call him out on his bullshit. He tries to force himself onto Juliet, and this entire thing reeks like an episode of Law & Order SVU. However, Juliet decides to let him think that he's getting somewhere with her, if only so that she can get to his gun. And, you see, this is why Adam should have shot Warner when they were escaping. Warner continues to assault Juliet, and it's not really helping that Juliet is trying to get into his clothes to grab his gun, but then she finally grabs his gun and shoots him without hesitation, which, good. Chapter 40. With Warner down, Juliet doesn't waste any time in getting away. She doesn't even check to make sure that he actually is dead, which I'm sure everybody can tell you, always check that they're dead. She runs away and tries to get back to where Adam had been. She keeps telling herself over and over that Adam isn't actually dead. But after a moment of running around, she realizes that she's lost. Warner must have taken her further than I had thought and not just inside. She eventually finds a trail of blood and she thinks that it must belong to Adam, that they dragged him away but didn't bother to clean up the mess. The trail leads into a building, and she tries for a moment to get into the door where the trail leads. However, the door is locked and she can't kick it in, so she tries to think of how else she could get in, except that her mind is kind of foggy with panic and she can't stop thinking about how Warner had assaulted her just minutes earlier. I punch the door. In one instant, my mind catches up to my muscle, and I brace myself for the impact of steel on skin, ready to feel the agony of shattering every bone in my right arm, but my fist flies through 12 inches of steel like it's made of butter. Sure, this might as well happen too. At this point, I also need to remind people that Juliet did reportedly punch through concrete when Warner tried to get her to torture the baby, so it's not like this is coming out of the blue. But at the same time, how convenient that Juliet is just now discovering a new power. So she goes inside and finds that it's an old factory. The trail goes cold inside, but she knows that Adam must be around somewhere, so she goes looking for him, and finds him strung up on a conveyor belt. It's then that Juliet realizes that this is a slaughterhouse, which, okay, sure, this might as well happen too. Juliet knows that she has an element of surprise on her side and goes over to Adam, who instructs her to pull a knife out from his pocket. She cuts him free, but he can barely walk because he got shot in the leg. Adam says that they left him up in there saying that nobody would find him, and yet they did nothing to clean up the giant blood trail that they left. But nobody should have been able to get in, except for the walking plot device that is Juliet. They wander around for a while and eventually find an abandoned car. apparently abandoned in the middle of somebody's grocery trip because the keys are still in the ignition, the doors are unlocked, and there is fresh food in the back, which no idea where the person got that food from, but okay, it can't have been in there for long since the fruit is still fresh. Juliet feeds Adam a banana. She then tells him that she shot Warner, and Adam is pleased to hear this, but as Juliet turns to the steering wheel, she says that she doesn't know how to drive. Thanks for listening to my book Snark on YouTube. New videos are up every Monday, but stick around because sometimes I drop random videos on other days too. Just as a reminder, even if you can't financially support me, there are other ways to support me. The first is watching this video as well as all of my other videos. It's also important to like and subscribe. Finally, you can share this video with all of your friends so that they can help as well. If you're already caught up with all of my videos, you can go to Tumblr for my main book Snarks, always free and updated every morning. And if you've already read all of my main Snarks, then you can find even more Snarks on my Patreon. You can access it for $1 a month. Plus, you also get early access to my main Tumblr Snark. Special thanks to Dawn, Phoebe, and Nikki for supporting me on Patreon already. If you want to hear your name in my video next week, either support me on Patreon or make a one-time donation. Do you like my Snark so much that you want me to snark your writing? I do that too. For just $3 per chapter, I will tell you how awful that your writing is. But not to worry if you feel like you couldn't take the criticism. I also offer regular book editing as well, $3 for every 5,000 words. You can contact me on any of my social media platforms if you have further questions. If you want to read some of the things that I've written, you can purchase my works on Amazon. I have a slew of erotic short stories and one full-length novel. I also sometimes run flash sales on my stories, and if you don't follow me on any social media, you might want to do that just so you know when I might be offering more things for free. Links for everything will be posted below. See you next week, guys.